I don't remember the Seinfeld noises that they make.
You're close enough.
Neil hit the record button and then we all stopped
No.
talking.
Did he? I wasn't sure, but
Yeah,
he gave that look.
he did. He gave that
The
it's-
look.
Yeah,
Is it the
you have
look?
that sly look that's like now anything you say is fancy ramen property.
Yeah, it's totally that look that says it's today is 4/16. This is Weebcast episode 2. My name is Skimilk-kun.
My name's Neil.
I'm Scott.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Sure.
Hey.
So, it's been a week. Scott says it's been a week for him as well.
It's been a week for you, I imagine, with your car scenario.
I think I've been taking advantage of having access to my girlfriend's truck pretty much the entire week. And I kind of told myself if my car doesn't show up within a week, then I need to start actually looking for a replacement vehicle. But this it's been a week today, and I'm kind of just like, I don't
I
want
was
to
about to
fucking
say,
shop for it.
what is within a week for you if it's already just been a week?
Yeah. That just means that
It's not noon yet, so technically Neil hasn't found out that his car's been stolen.
yeah, so I still have 2 hours left before I really have to start doing some Craigslist
It's
hopping.
more like an hour and a half.
Yeah, more or less.
The value of your vehicle, though, I mean, you could just get a really nice bike for that same price.
Oh, but I didn't have insurance on thefts or coverage on theft, so
Ah.
I'm just out whatever that would have been. Like when you brought that up, the whole bike idea, I started to think maybe that's a thing.
Our
Are you-
bus system is absolute garbage.
It is. Are you gonna get a moped? You should get a moped. They're only like $1,000.
Can I take a moped on 72nd during rush hour though?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
will people hate me?
I took a moped.
People won't hate you if
everywhere.
you drive the
But
speed
people,
limit.
did they hate you?
Fuck if I cared. I was the coolest motherfucker on the road. It's on a fucking moped.
Did you wear a suit while on the moped?
Actually, so I was going through a lot of job interviews at one point in my life. So yes, I was constantly on a suit and a moped. And like one guy like stopped me at McDonald's. He's like, "Man, I've been seeing you zipping all around town lately. Where are you going?" It's like job interviews. He's like, hence the outfits. It's like, yeah.
I just thought you were fresh to death.
It's just
I thought you were the replacement for the Six Flags guy.
today I kind of am with the bow tie,
Yeah.
Yeah. You just need
the
the
monogrammed
dance.
handkerchief.
Is that a real bow tie or is
Yes.
that a okay?
Tied it myself because
So it's not like a necktie that's been changed into a bow tie, right?
no, unfortunately, I'm not that good at tying neckties.
Okay.
It's making them bow ties, which I've done once. I've got one necktie that'll actually do that.
Well, when you do it, does it make a decent looking tie, or are there things that make it obviously? Are there obvious signs that make it a necktie in a bow tie? If that makes sense.
There are obvious signs that make it a necktie and a bow tie, but that makes it even like classier as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you notice the tip of the tie because the tie has.
Actually, you gotta tuck that in, otherwise.
Oh, you
it's
do? Gotcha.
It's gonna be longer than an actual bow tie, so it's gonna droop down a little bit more.
Mm.
It's gonna be a sad bow tie, and you're gonna be like, "That's too big to be a bow tie." Good on you, classy motherfucker.
So is the monogrammed R for your last name Skimilk?
Correct.
Okay.
As,
Just had to check.
as a whole, I've noticed that a lot of men's fashion, formal fashion or like business fashion.
Is great.
Well, yes, but it's also been going. At least I'm hoping it is because I've seen some designs go towards like the larger lapels, like the more defined shapes and angles. Because like I'm really tired of the slim everything, like the skinny tie. That that's probably still in, but I don't know. I'm not big on the slim lapels, slim ties. I want like more profound, larger things. You need it to speak for your personality.
I've got a knot to show you how to tie. It's like a double Windsor knot.
Holy shit.
Is it just fat as all can
It's
be?
super huge. It's actually called the Hannibal. Because of the TV show Hannibal, he wears that like his like that.
Do you need an extra long tie for it?
No.
Okay, interesting.
It's a back tied tie. So basically you set the length of the fat end of the tie to where you want it to be, and then you just tie the shit out of the other half of the tie.
Oh,
and then
that's
it just
interesting.
tucks in under the collar.
It'll be hard to convince me away from the Pratt knot or the Shelby knot, the Milan knot, whatever you want to call it. I freaking love that knot. It's
Simple.
It's
easy.
simple, and it gives you like it's easy to adjust the width, and as well as like it's just a versatile tie. Not to mention if you do the Milan version of it, it's also a slip knot as well, so you can just yank it off and it undoes itself.
Right,
Yeah,
if you need to
so-
like strangle somebody in hand-to-hand combat.
I hide metal wire, piano wire in all of my ties just in case I need to do that.
So when it gets caught in the subway door one day, that's how you go.
Yep. Good point.
Scary stuff.
Yeah.
So what's everyone been doing this week?
So my computer had a bit of a journey over the beginning part of the week, and honestly, going into details isn't going to be very entertaining or interesting.
Ooh, can I sum it up in 2 seconds?
Yeah, Cookie
I've got
can.
this. So Scott Kuhn bought a new hard drive, and his old hard drive like kind of had a panic attack, so that gave his motherboard a heart attack.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the old hard disk drive was probably like, "You're replacing me? What the fuck?" And so it like crashed its operating system, and yeah, out of nowhere, like it was just plugging in the SATA ports, right? And then all of a sudden, my old hard disk drive was just like, I can't run Windows anymore. So
Get
Wait,
that new bitch to do it.
You were replacing your actual operating hard drive or
no,
solid state?
I
I don't
wasn't
think he
even trying
wasn't.
to. I
Oh,
ultimately
okay.
ended up doing that as part of the solution. No, the old hard disk drive was gonna stay. That was gonna be the main thing.
and
but-
had a mild panic attack.
Yeah. Anyway, everything's fixed now. But I was out of a computer Monday through Wednesday, so my computer gaming got fucked real bad.
That sucks. I had this. I mean, I had that issue with my computer a couple weeks ago or last month.
Yeah, I remember that. You were having issues with just
Just
trying
Windows
to,
10,
yeah,
trying
trying to
to boot it
access
up.
it.
And my solution, granted, when I was taking a look at the diagnostics
Mm-hmm.
for the SanDisk Extreme, whatever the hell, 256 gig, 240 gig hard drive, there were some errors popping up, but I haven't replaced it yet. And so far, it seems to be running okay. Cross my fingers. It's great to have someone else with computer problems instead of myself for once.
Yeah, and shout out to Lachlan. He hasn't been on the podcast yet, but I imagine he'll get involved at some point, at least as like a guest or something. But he is from Fetch Quest podcast fame.
Yep.
He came over on Wednesday to help me out with it. But what ended up happening is Lachlan came over and I was like, okay, I think I've got everything figured out. And so I ran it by him and he's like, you just need me to come over and tell you that you're right. And I'm like, thank God. So yeah, he like hung out while I just got everything running again.
So this makes me nervous.
You're next.
Because things happen in threes, guys.
It's true. Lizzie's computer's gonna die.
Oh, that's fine with that. As long as it's
Doesn't
not
get
mine.
used.
I can fix that in like old timey fashion.
Yeah. So that's really the biggest thing that happened during my week. Otherwise I was like really busy with work. So I didn't do too much besides like stress out about the computer at the first half of the week and then stress out about work the rest of it. And then we had our fancy get together on Thursday. That was good.
Fancy foods.
Not to be confused with.
Fancy friends.
Oh, I like that.
Fancy friends with fancy foods at. Not to be mistaken or to be confused with.
I wasn't sure where I was going with that,
Oh.
so I just stopped.
At Mai Tai and had pho for the first time in a while. Is theirs good?
No.
Okay, yeah.
I
I
mean-
I considered it to be like a mediocre, like an okay experience.
I've never had their pho.
Well, if you're going to try pho, don't do it there.
I was about to say I've only had pho at apparently the second best place in town to get pho. So
Oh, I need to get those places from you. First, the
Oh.
omelet rice place.
Yeah.
If
Oh.
there's potentially omelet rice there. Who
Yeah, and
knows?
if not, you can ask them to make oma rice. And maybe they can do it.
Are they Japanese or something?
No, they're
or-
not. They're Vietnamese.
Okay.
I was hoping you were going to say they were Hispanic.
No,
They make the best Chinese food.
because Chinese, like the Americana style Chinese, is its own like type of cooking.
It's kind of like the Americana Mexican food.
Yeah, I guess Americana anything. Like Americana means bastardized version of home countries, like
Yeah.
cultural foods.
What's Americana music? I've
Is it folk or country?
It's not.
I don't want to
I've
give it.
somewhere
really
between-
struggled to identify what Americana is as a genre.
It's kind of like watching the movie Juno, but giving it a little more folky of a twang.
Isn't
okay.
Juno like indie bullshit? I mean, I say that with all the love in the
No,
world.
no. It's anti-folk is Kim Dawson's style,
Okay.
and she made 90% of the
Oh,
soundtrack.
Yeah, now I know exactly the music, and I was thinking more of like a Life is Strange vibe for a second in terms of.
It's not bad.
I
Music.
could
It's not
see
bad,
that.
I
It's a little more edgy than what's on Life is Strange, but
Yeah,
I would
in
like
that same wheelhouse.
I would like to argue that Americana should at least acknowledge the fact that America is the birthplace of hip hop and rap. And so that's another thing.
are we
Like-
also the birthplace of the blues though too? Like I'm
Yeah, I mean-
99% sure.
America has generated some-
technically. And the only reason I say technically is because the blues branched off from
Slave music, right?
yeah, which branched off from.
You want to give it to Africa,
Africa.
Cookie?
I'm giving it to Africa. I'll never go to that country, but I'm giving it to Africa.
Country.
The country of Africa? Continent?
Continent.
Oh,
Fuck if I know, man.
Oh man.
That's how much I'm trying to avoid that place.
Yeah.
No offense, but I hear there are blacks there.
oh God.
Well, you won't
Dude.
find any here in the Great White Midwest.
Or on this podcast.
Apparently.
I really feel the need to point out the obvious already, but
Cookie is black still.
he,
We mentioned this like every other episode.
he
now.
hasn't gone MJ quite yet. You don't have a skin pigment disorder or anything, right?
No, I am
Vitiligo is the name of it.
I am not dark as fuck, but I am pretty damn dark.
Vitiligo.
Yeah, that's-
Vitiligo.
Vitiligo. Okay, yeah.
That sounds like a JoJo villain.
It could be. I mean, I'm not caught up. And you fucked the keep JoJo out of the podcast goal again.
I know intentionally.
Man, you're terrible. I did watch the video you sent to me though
The,
of all the Joseph Joestar quips.
English.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Oh no! Oh my God!
Holy shit! I don't even think anyone would need to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to appreciate the English like little mashup there, because it's so good. Son of a beach. That's what it is.
What?
Son of the beach. He's trying to say son of a bitch, and he sounds like he's an Italian guy.
Yeah, for those not in the know, Joseph Joestar is an American.
He's a Brit.
Wait,
He's
but
a Brit who moved to America.
okay, yeah, that's right, that's right.
But
so
yeah, he's an
supposed
English
to be
speaker.
exactly. Yeah, he's supposed to use these English terms, especially in part 3, because he's this English native speaker.
Who also hates the Japanese.
Yep, he hates the Japanese culture,
Yeah.
and you know, part 3, at least the first portion of it, takes place in Japan, and the most of the main characters are Japanese, or at least speak Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
So they make the stark contrast with him being very brash compared to the rest of the characters and speaking English every now and then, usually in profanity.
His racism for the Japanese is so amusing because was it Araki must have just had like a great time with that. Just finally like making a joke or a dig at the Japanese within what is like the most Japanese thing, which is manga and anime. Like
It's solid.
Yeah.
And there are a few points in part 3 that feel very like, oh, we need to educate or inform our viewers somehow. And you might be able to just turn it this way. And now you can turn
Okay.
the whole stand. Just
oh,
like
I
the
see.
base.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, mic troubles, everyone.
No, it's all good. Is it in Singapore? Like one of the first trips they go, that's where they meet Paul Naref, and Cackling, really out of place, talks to the rest of the group about how you can request more tea by like opening your teapot kettle and putting it slightly off kilter.
I don't remember that. I mean, they were in Singapore, but I don't remember anything past that.
And they talk about local foods as they're traveling.
Mhm.
Like part of me was thinking just Iraqi was like, man, I really want to go travel abroad and
Right. I need to take this budget, and now I'm going to go to Singapore, and then India, then Egypt. Yeah, that's probably what he did. He was just like, I need a vacation. I'm going to write part 3 around the globe.
Yeah, exactly. And then part 4 is him being like, "Oh man, I'm
Now
really
I'm
tired
moving to
of
the
this
country."
thing. I need to move to the country."
Skipping JoJo.
This is going way off topic. Yeah. What have you been doing this week?
So Scott last week told us about a movie that's out in theaters right now, and I made it a point to find a spot in a time to go see it, and I saw it last night. It was beautiful.
Its name is
Your name,
exactly
not my name, not Scott's name, not Neil's name, but
your
your
name.
name.
Yeah, I had seen this online like maybe a month or so ago, and I actually just saw it this Saturday as well.
You went to the 220 show?
510.
510. Okay, me and Lizzie went to the 1210 show.
Do you go to the subbed or dubbed version?
Dubbed.
How was it?
Actually, really good. But then again, I didn't have to sit through the sub version, so it's okay.
So you really don't like subs then, or?
I don't mind subs. I can't go from a dub to a sub, but I can go. No, I can't go from a sub to a dub, but I can go the other way.
Yeah.
But so if I get the option to do dubbed first, because my ass is lazy and I don't want to read sometimes, I'll just go straight to
I get you.
dubbed and then switch over via if I'm watching anime, because dub's not always caught up.
Right.
It's never caught up.
If you're going current or simulcast, it seems like the dub usually is behind at least a few weeks.
That's one preference of mine for subbed, but the other is because you don't have to deal with potentially really poor voice actors.
Yeah.
This one did not have poor voice
Well,
acting.
so I've heard
Because it's a tour de force, right? Like, it's a really big deal, this movie.
it certainly seems to be like the response I've been hearing from people is that this is as good as Miyazaki, or like as good as some of his movies. That it's beautiful.
I could see that.
A lot of really good critical claims.
Acclaim.
Like, yeah, acclaim. Thank you. You could say too that the number of like perfect scores that you see or near perfect scores online is kind of surprising, at least to me, in regards to just the comparison to Miyazaki, I really don't think is warranted, and I think they're two very different types of movies. Like most of Miyazaki's films, I think, are a lot more thought out, and it's weird to say niche because Miyazaki's work is like the most mainstream you can get for anime movies now. But when I look at Your Name, it feels much more like it's like in terms of story and presentation, it's way closer to like a triple A, like a big budget Hollywood rom-com. You know what I mean?
We're going to blend all the genres here. Video game, Hollywood movie,
Let's do
Anime.
this.
Netflix thumbs up.
Netflix thumbs up. I actually don't mind that thumbs up. But no, I could see both of those like standpoints of it being like, I see on the sides of where they say it's a Miyazaki, because it's going to be like one of those classics now.
You think so?
I think so. I was so frustrated at the very end. Just like, come on, you fuckers.
Well, so it's really funny because so I'd seen this movie before. I took my girlfriend who hadn't seen it, but she had seen this director's work called 50 millimeters a second or something like that.
I actually did 3. It's 3 millimeters.
Is
a
it?
second.
Jesus, good God, what the hell is wrong with my number scene?
It's him.
It has to do
Fucking
with like,
A,
the
of course it was
speed
him.
of the Earth turning.
Yeah,
Oh.
and like each of the like small episodic things for 3 millimeters a second is like they mention like one out of the entire story. Like one sentence has like this crazy scientific mathematical sentence.
That's it.
And that's it.
Now we can
Yeah.
name. All right, we got to
It's-
fit this
it's
title
good.
into the script somehow,
No,
guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can totally see that that's him.
I think it's 5 meters per second or something, but
Yeah,
or
maybe
5
it's
cm
one of
per second. Who cares?
It's
I mean-
it's a measurement of distance per
It's-
second.
It's a velocity.
Yeah.
Well, so
Well, no, it doesn't have directions. so
I'm
it's
going to
just
be
speed.
very vague with the spoilers here, but when
Actually, before you do that,
Uh-huh.
Did you? So you said you saw it already. Before
Yeah.
you even saw it the first time, did you like have like a synopsis that you read or anything?
no.
Okay, good. Because me neither. I literally just saw that IGN mentioned it once, and I really liked the cover art. Then Scott mentioned it, and I was like, oh fuck it, yeah, go see this.
Oh, I also forgot to mention to you that I've had people on both sides of the fence when it came to the dub. A lot of people, I think, had really bad impressions from the trailer. And when I talked to a couple coworkers that went and saw the dub version, they were pretty happy with it, though.
Mm.
So
I'll say because they played the trailer like 3 times before the movie actually started,
Mhm.
the dubbed version of the trailer, not representative of the actual.
pretty shitty. Is it the same lines, or was it re-recorded, or just out of context it sounded like ass?
I'm gonna say out of context because you really got to be focused during that movie.
Yeah.
But either way, I didn't find any like glaring issues. It wasn't like listening to Princess Zelda for the first time.
Link, have you figured out where I'm from?
No, god damn it, you were British 2 seconds ago.
So I hear if you like this movie, the next thing to watch is The Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
That's a good fucking movie too.
I haven't
actually.
seen it. It's on my list of things to
Oh my
watch.
god, it's so good.
Maybe you need to watch Your Name first.
Well, hey guys, I got you guys to watch it.
You
I did
quite
my
literally
job.
did.
Oh, and to quickly reference that vague spoiler, my girlfriend was like, I could see her, or through my peripherals, her shaking her head near the end, thinking like, if this is gonna end the same way as that short film or short movie, like fuck this.
Oh yeah, they're all gonna end that way, man.
Won't say anything else. Let's move on from there.
Cool. So speaking about Netflix thumbs up, thumbs down, I've found a new show on Netflix that has a lot of thumbs up. It's called 13 Reasons Why.
Lizzie's watching the shit out of that. I look over every once in a while. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have watched it until both Lachlan and Matt, we were in a group chat because we were going to play some Europa 4 before my computer decided to die. And then after my computer died, I was like, well, I do have some free time to do something that's not computer related. Good thing that Netflix still works. It's my only other form of entertainment outside of books. And so I started watching that, and I've got 2 episodes to go. Probably watch those when I get home after this.
Then you gotta hang out with your grandma.
And yeah, and let's hope I'm not crying too hard before I head out that way. I hear it's a tearjerker.
So
It's been emotionally moving so far, but I haven't cried.
So brief synopsis. What the fuck is this show about?
Okay.
Because I'm confused as fuck.
13 Reasons Why is each episode is a like vignette that is like it follows you know what, you'll like this because I'm going to bring in the future cut. We're going to have this become a term that's probably pretty standard for the podcast. Anyway, most of the story takes place in 2 timelines. One is a timeline in which this girl, Hannah Baker, is going through just all of the like stress and awfulness that is high school. And then the second timeline, which is the future cut, which is also going on, is like one of her closest friends and maybe mutual romantic interest dealing with her death by suicide, in which she's left 13 tapes, each tape explaining a reason why she killed herself.
Okay, good. I just didn't know she was actually dead, and they said she was dead.
She is real dead.
Okay.
Yeah. She's 6 feet in the ground dead. It is pretty cool. And the one thing that I also like about these 2 timelines is as things get a little more intense and serious, as you would imagine, because of like the trauma of it, he starts to kind of lose his grip on like present and past timelines, and he starts getting like, you start having like kind of scenes where the past clashes with the present, which is really kind of cool. It's neat camera work. It's just good. I feel like there's not too much to talk about without just introducing spoilers for each episode, so it's worth checking out. And it was from Matt and Lachlan's excitement that I got into it, and I may not have stuck it through if they hadn't been that excited. But now that I'm as deep as I am,
You've only
it's
got
worth
2 episodes
watching.
left.
Yeah, I've got 2
You're-
episodes left, and I saved those because I was like, I'm not going to parse these out. Something really serious is going to happen between these two, and I'm like, and I need to be in a space where I can watch it because it's going to be good.
I can dig it. So yeah, so at this point, you're in the Fast and Furious loop.
What's the Fast and Furious loop?
So I've seen all the other Fast and Furious movies, but like 4 Fast and Furious movies ago, it was like, okay, so since I've seen the other ones, I've got to watch this one now.
Yeah, you're
So
invested enough that you can't just like let it be.
Pretty much. I'm tired of the Fast and Furious movies. I don't want to watch the new one, but I've
You
already
have
seen
to
the
now.
other ones.
I've seen the first one, and I think I've seen Tokyo Drift. Tokyo Drift was great.
Yeah, I thought it was good as a standalone movie too.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a huge amount of reference to the other titles.
No,
Right,
not
it's got
until not
Lil
until
Bow Wow.
after,
right?
not until the ending, and then like 4 movies later, they actually bring it back.
Mm.
The tie-in to before the things of Tokyo Drift, and then after the things of Tokyo Drift, and things that happened during Tokyo Drift. They're doing it like a Kingdom Hearts game.
So,
Oh, no.
so they actually make Tokyo Drift more important to the core storyline then, or
Cool.
Yeah, because the main dude who died at the end of Tokyo Drift is actually in the movie like two after Tokyo Drift.
okay.
Spoilers. It goes back in time.
It's like it goes to a prologue.
Spoilers,
Sort of
they
scenario.
actually go back in time. Like, they drive so fast
88
and
miles
furious,
per hour.
and then just
They
disappear.
might in this new one, actually. I'm not 100% sure.
We need to go back and save
I
Paul
s-
Walker.
He's not dead in this universe.
But he's dead in real life.
But I read something somewhere that they were like, how Fast and Furious shot that zombie car scene, and I'm like, what does this mean?
What?
I
Zombie car.
didn't read it, but there are zombie cars in the new Fast and Furious movie apparently, and
Oh, okay. So I have noticed, and I like, we don't have to talk about this series at all, especially if you're tired of it. But
no, I'm going to the new movie.
it'd be hilarious if they were able, because that series has, transcended different genres.
It won't die, so it technically does have a zombie element to it already.
It goes zombie apocalypse, but instead of it being zombies, it's zombie cars.
Yeah.
Cars develop their own lives and then afterlives.
This is why we don't want smart cars.
You were going somewhere
would
with something.
the cars? I mean, it was just the thought that, like, in that case, would the cars eat humans or eat other cars? They're both pretty interesting topics.
So Vin Diesel is gonna avenge his like 60s Mustang because it got eaten.
At what point?
I think he's the bad guy in this one. Maybe.
Really?
I'm not sure. But then
Aren't
again,
they all bad people?
Well,
They're
they're
all
all-
criminals.
they're all bad people, but I think he betrays the family.
He's the antagonist.
It's kind of like
Maybe.
Yakuza, the series in Japan that basically makes Yakuza seem like great people. They're really the only social justice heroes in Japan because the police can't do shit. There's only one detective that works with the Yakuza
Mm.
that actually helps, makes things right. God,
Oh,
that
crap.
fucking game series.
Is it a game or is it a show now, Neil? I'm confused.
It's
kind
a
of
series,
both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough cutscenes and shit. I just watched a bit of Yakuza 0 where the side quest involves the main character trying to track down a game system that gets stolen from a kid. And first, just a goon steals it. He gets to the goon who's talking to like some low-level Yakuza member. Or no, it's like a high school kid. The high school kid has it get stolen just before you get to him by a goon. Then you have to go track down the goon. The goon has it stolen from a low-level Yakuza. And by the way, you're beating up everyone you come across at this point because you can't just say, oh, you don't have the game system anymore. It's like, no, let me beat you up first before I ask that question.
How dare you lose it?
And then you get to the low-level Yakuza, and he's excited about having it because it's like, I can give it to my son. He's been wanting it all this time. You beat him up, you get the game system, and find out that actually the son is the kid that had it originally. So it's a heartwarming moment where the Yakuza was actually doing it for the right reasons, just in a misguided way.
I need
I
you to
stole this game from my son. He's gonna love it when I give it to him.
And then the son comes and is like, Dad, did you help me find it too? Yes.
He's got his black eye
In
and
a
ice
way.
peas on him. Yeah.
Oh man, fuck that. Yeah. All right.
Other things I've been
Never.
doing.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Wait, Neil, what have you been doing?
I went to IHOP,
Ooh.
and so in the past we've talked about going out for breakfast, and there's a place that no one listening to this podcast, unless they're from Omaha, would know, called Jimmy's Egg, or Kansas City. I guess they're around that area too.
I had a hair in one of my things at Jimmy's Egg once. It just
Seriously?
turned me off slightly.
Damn.
I normally don't bother with that because it happens. Like I get it.
Lizzie
It was
doesn't like Jimmy's Egg.
it was a gnarly hair.
Did
so
something
I've got
happen?
flashbacks.
Happen? Did I just say happen?
Yes.
You can say whatever you want.
What happened at Jimmy's Egg to turn you off from that establishment?
No, that turned Lizzie off.
Oh,
I
yeah,
never actually
yeah.
got to make it there. She just recently had something there that she liked, so we might go, but their eggs aren't that good.
Yeah, I might agree with you there, actually.
And
It's
if
not
it's
that
in
they're
your
bad. They're
it's
just not
that
good.
If it's in your title,
You should probably have that be your ringer. Yeah.
yeah.
You would think so,
Because
right?
they're not serving up Jimmy's. So
All the meat that's in the store came from animals named Jimmy.
It's just that when I had IHOP, like the bill ended up being like $25 for between me and my girlfriend and I, and at the end of it, I was just like, man, this is uneventful and kind of like what I felt like it wasn't worth it. And then when you get done with Jimmy's Egg, it's like $16 or $18 for two. I know you have hair
So-
in your food, but
so you're
maybe
just-
that's what you got to take for that $7 hit.
that's the discount.
Yeah.
Now with more hair.
So basically what you're saying is IHOP's too expensive for how it tastes comparatively to how Jimmy's eggs taste.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it was fine. I remember the hash browns in particular, like they weren't really that crispy, but they
At
were
IHOP
actually
or Jimmy's Eggs?
at IHOP,
Okay.
but they were pre-salted. And I was like, oh, these actually taste good without putting salt or pepper on
Mhm.
them. And like, it's kind of the small things like that that I, can appreciate. But at the same time, it was like $10 for like a really small breakfast where I could spend.
Wait, what do you get there?
I personally just got the 2 eggs to
The 222?
something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty common meal for
And it's
places.
like $9.99 or something for it, where I could get like a big ass plate of if you get Jimmy's garbage breakfast at Jimmy's
Isn't
Egg.
that every breakfast?
Yeah, basically. It's 2 eggs, hash browns, sausage crumble with green peppers and onion. And it's just mashed together.
It's actually pretty good. I've
Yeah.
had that. And that's where I found my hair, actually. And that's why
Well,
it sucks.
It's the garbage, man.
It's fine. No, I didn't realize it was that much. Like, you're actually reaching into the trash bin for it. But I don't know. My complaint is that I don't eat anywhere that's a chain if I have the ability to avoid it.
Mm.
Like, it has to be one of my friends who's like insistent upon going somewhere.
So
that
no
I
Cracker
make
Barrel
that
for you?
sacrifice. I'll do it if I'm traveling, I guess. Like, Cracker Barrel's a good place to go if you're traveling
It's like
cross
the best
country.
place to go if you're traveling.
Yeah.
But my
Get some
personal
grits,
experience.
get some pancakes. Like, you can get everything there is good.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
My personal experience, though, with going to like the mom and pops places in town, is it always better? Like, there are cases where it's always been great. Like,
Yeah, you have to find what's good.
yeah, like
But-
Leo's Diner, for instance, I've never had a bad experience at. But like, if maybe I found a hair or something there, I wouldn't be as worried, or like it wouldn't bother me, because when you go in, that place is a fucking diner. Like, you're almost expecting the tables to have at least a slight
little bit of
film
grime,
on top
yeah.
of it. Because if it's not, it's like, wait, what happened? How is this place clean? I've actually never had that happen. It's not like it's
Right.
dirty at all, but it has. It's the presentation of it. So like when you go into a 5-star restaurant and you notice there's like a little dirt on the outside of like a mug or something,
Right.
that's
It's
alarming,
unacceptable.
right?
Yeah.
But when you
I
go,
don't call it
someplace,
alarming. I just call it unacceptable.
yeah, okay.
He does the lemon grab like, unacceptable!
But there's another place that I won't name that is really popular with Omaha. Real fucking popular.
Lisa's Radio Cafe.
I said I won't name it. So I'm
I
gonna
like
bleep
how I
you out.
got it. Okay.
I don't know where any of these
That I
places are.
totally found a cockroach or cockroach-esque thing on a table. And I was just like, my breakfast has been ruined.
Yeah, not surprising.
I wouldn't be fine. I'd be fine with it being on the table as long as you're not in your food. Because are you eating off the table, Neil?
Let's just say that it wasn't.
I mean, UNMC's got cockroaches in it.
Yeah, and
That's-
cockroaches are
it's like
everywhere.
exactly. It's a leading hospital in the nation, and there's still cockroaches everywhere.
Yeah, and I expect there are definitely vermin and stuff in kitchens. Like,
yeah. It's
Well,
They
yeah.
have to be there. It's inevitable. But
almost unavoidable.
You just don't want to see that?
Yeah,
I
you
want it to
you
be
need the
hidden.
facade or the veneer. Like,
it's like I'm pretty sure I have probably ingested something that a waiter, server, or cook has done something terrible with. Like, I think we all have.
why you're not nice to your?
No,
your servers?
I am, but at the same time, I still know that like from knowing people in management from fast food and other restaurants,
They don't give a
shit
shit.
happens
Yeah.
regardless. So you just have to accept it, but you don't want to realize, like, you don't want to experience it firsthand and know that it's happening. If that
Right.
makes sense.
No, yeah, makes sense. So, question: would either of you guys consider eating at Waffle House?
I've never been there.
Oh my God, Waffle House is like a rite of passage. I think.
So you,
You,
won't
like,
eat
have
in a
to go.
chain, but you'll eat at Waffle House.
Which
I'm
is,
fine with that.
No,
I'm fine
it's,
with that.
it's like the scum of the earth. I know. Like
oh my god, it's so good.
the cigarette ashes somehow make the waffles better. It's like
Yeah, it's like sometimes I miss it, but a lot of the times I'm like, yeah, I can walk in here without having an asthma attack now.
yeah. Every time I think of a Waffle House, I think like this is against everything that I normally find acceptable. But
Wait, is a Waffle
Hot
House
damn,
a
I need
chain? Or...
yeah,
Yes.
it's literally called a Waffle House.
It's quite literally everywhere except for Nebraska.
It's true.
The closest one is, depending on which direction you're going, you can either hit one in Kansas City or you can go to Iowa and hit it at the same exact time.
I didn't go to a Waffle House until I was probably like 22 or so. No, maybe
Who dragged you to one?
20 or something. I went with Neil's looking up the website.
Yeah, I opened it
Yeah.
up, and the first thing that came up was not Tom Petty, Kyle Petty, the NASCAR driver.
Yes. Yeah,
Like,
that
okay.
sounds like a Waffle House.
Thank yeah.
Yeah, it was during spring break. We were doing a road trip of like the Southwest, New Mexico, Arizona, stuff like that, and hitting all the national parks. And so we went to a Waffle House at the behest of one of my closest friends.
Yep, it's got to be.
He was like, you got to go.
Yeah.
It has to be done at some point in time. And yeah, like the coffee could have been filtered through a sock and it tasted amazing. Like everything was real good. It's got a secret magic to it, Neil.
It's like I take whenever we go to Kansas City or anywhere that if we pass by a Waffle House, me and Lizzie have to stop by one now. But like the first time I took Lizzie to one, she sits down, she's like, ew, this looks disgusting. And then she starts eating the food and she's eating my food because she orders some dinky
Yeah.
shit. And then like every time I have an opportunity to take any friends, like if we're going to Kansas City for like a quick trip to the theme park place,
Oh yeah, that would be
Worlds
Worlds
of
of Fun.
I'll take people to Waffle House. I'm like, we have to go to Waffle House at least once. And man, everyone's like always the same thing. Like, ew, this looks gross and disgusting and dirty. And then they order some dinky shit and they're eating off of everyone else's plates because it's like, this is the best thing ever.
Waffle House sprinkles like something into the food.
It's cocaine covered, just the entire thing.
Mix cocaine with powdered sugar, you won't be able to tell the difference.
Oh my god.
No,
I
it's
mean,
in the
you
grease.
will.
It's in the
It would.
grease.
It would be really bitter, I think.
It's in the grease. I don't know what they're doing,
Yeah.
man. But yeah. Okay, it's good to know that you'll at least eat at a Waffle House.
Hell yeah. I've had some life experiences.
All right, food aside though, I don't know how far I am in Persona 5, but I think I'm at the climax or the climbing action to that. And that game hasn't disappointed me yet, so.
What day are you on?
You sure you want that information?
Sure.
Well, I actually know when you are past the point of no return though, so it's fine.
Don't tell me.
I won't tell you. I just
Okay.
want to know what day you're on.
I'm in the middle of October.
Okay.
I'm really worried because in every game beforehand, Persona 3 and Persona 4, excluding Golden or the Golden or whatever the fuck it is in English, there's always a point where there's going to be like a month-long skip where you get done with the thing that you're doing in those games, and now it's like
the epilogue portion hits.
yeah,
right?
you literally jump a month. Now, in Persona 3, you had those time skips scattered throughout. Like at the very start, you're in a coma, a mini coma, or you're just asleep for a week after you summon your persona.
Right.
And in Persona 4 kind of does that, although not as obvious of a way at the start, and maybe once during the middle too. Persona 5 hasn't done that at all. So I'm really hoping that it's not just like you lose a month, because if that happens, like the game is getting close to an end for me, or at least I think it is.
Well, so Persona is normally a school year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And since it started in April or whenever, it's like I'm getting
a month, then
it's 11 months more or less. Or it was like, I think Persona 3 is literally like a 10-month span when you get down to it. Persona 4, when you factor in the Golden, you basically get to play, I think, the month of January or February, and that's when you have all this the snow stuff. Did you play that far?
I didn't know.
It was super nice getting to that point and realizing that the game was not over, because you had like an added dungeon with one of the new characters, and you also get to go on a ski trip with all of your friends, which it's great.
That sounds cool.
I've never been on a ski trip.
You want to go?
Until Persona 4. Not really.
I'll join you.
Oh, I guess I should say I have gone skiing and snowboarding before, just not like with high school friends or anything.
We're not high school friends. This will work great.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really twisted and torn, because I feel like this game is getting real close to its end, or so it feels like. I'm getting closer and closer, and I don't want it to end. But things are happening that propels me or pushes me to keep playing it. And I was really close to just doing an all-nighter last night, because it's like, I want to know what happens. I want to know. I'm getting real close to that future cut. Like, the start of the game and my game's progress are getting closer and closer and closer. And they do a really good job of making you feel like things are, I don't know, something's happening. And I feel like this game's getting closer to Ocean's 11 than like a mystery story at this point. So,
God damn it, I want to see that movie. Anyway,
we should watch that.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought about this yesterday. It was just like, oh yeah, they really don't want you like recording anything.
Yep.
But they've got, when you mentioned the network feature, this feature in there to tell you exactly what everyone else is doing. Isn't that kind of just like, hey, don't tell anybody what you're doing, but tell everybody what you're doing?
Well, not necessarily, because the network feature, which I only started to mess with recently, is giving you a very diluted idea of what people are doing during their days.
And you're also experiencing it in game, so to some extent, like, you've earned getting to that point. Or at least you've invested the time and money. It's
controlled too, for that matter. So like, if you would hit the network button at any point in time, which is like the circle touchpad, on a given random day, it would just give you the percentages of what people are doing, right?
Yeah, so it'll say confidants, break it down in these percentages, studied, or went
like
sleuthing,
school life or daily life. And even then, it doesn't even divide up the percentages per like those three categories. It doesn't go any further than that. So it goes
a little further than that.
Does it?
Yeah, it says school life, studied at cafe, studied at diner.
Well, yeah, but like, you don't see the percentage of like how many people studied at the cafe, how many people read at the library. And I think that's important to point out, because I think all that's really doing is serving as a reminder that there are characters that you may or may not know at that point that you could be interacting with. And also like going and doing things that you don't know about. Because like the game does not necessarily hold your hand at discovering new locations within the town. Like, I could definitely see not discovering Akiba or some of the locations you can go to, unless you're like me and you basically always do things with your friends when they invite you out on days off or Sundays or school or vacation holidays, I guess. Which,
it's the weekend.
Yeah,
quite literally.
I don't know about you, but whenever I get invites the night before, I'm always just accept it.
Well, yeah,
because when you're like, nah, I don't want to, I always seem to suffer consequences.
Really?
Everybody's like, oh, you don't like me? At least in the older games.
Oh,
Or the other issue that I'd have is I'd make plans and then someone would be like, yo, I want to do this. And it's like, you already have plans with the magician, like social link. And I'm like, yeah.
yeah.
But I'm going to skip out on that. And then they're pissed and you roll back like a rank or something in at least Persona 3.
Oh, yeah, I do remember.
Yeah.
Some of that.
So now as a default, it's just like whoever asks me first, they get priority.
Yep.
Sorry for all you slow pokes.
Isn't that how life is, though?
I would note though that
Well, no, because I'm totally willing to tell a friend like this other friend wants to hang out with me. Either you can join us, or you can let me leave you behind.
Or you can suck on a fat baby's ball.
Yeah, exactly.
so with Personas,
I prioritize appropriately though. It's not like you mean less to me, so I'm going to put you to the side.
It's quite literally, you mean less to me.
It's yeah.
It really is.
I feel like you're going to find yourself prioritizing heavily in Persona 5 because there are characters that have really, really good perks to befriending them. Like I was making the stupid bread comment in the last episode.
Yeah.
There are gameplay reasons to there
You
are,
did befriend the bread person, didn't you?
I didn't know it was going to happen. Man. No. But there are very, very good benefits to befriending and to creating contracts, as we'll call them, with certain people. Some, like, do you mind if I get kind of spoilery? It's not to the core story itself.
if you don't ruin the story, I'm going to be okay.
Okay.
It's okay if we ruin the story at all. We'll get shut down by Atlas.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you gotten the maid contact yet? Not saying who it is, just the maid that you can use. That sounds
No.
terrible.
No.
Really? Okay.
Sorry, I just got the...
Cleaned my room, right?
Well, so the maid
I know who
will
you're
make
talking about.
coffee for you or make curry for you.
What's curry do? Is it just health?
SP for everyone. So it's super OP as
I
long as you...
I love curry anyway. Like,
Yeah, I didn't like. So I've been in a big curry kick ever since I started dating Tiffany. That's 2 years ago, and it's just because like she's kind of picky with her foods, and I've always been like a coffee guy, though I'm trying to get more into tea. So when Persona 3 has like the ramen shop, Persona 4 is all about the beef bowls. Persona 5 is about coffee and curry, and it perfectly matches my lifestyle presently. So it's like, yeah, I love coffee, I love curry. This is great.
But now you can only choose between one.
yeah,
Well-
that's too bad.
With the maid, you can pay your maid to make coffee and curry, and you can still do whatever you want during the evening.
So you could pay her to make curry and then you make coffee or something.
Or you can go and do your social links or confidant levels
That's nice.
while she's doing that. And it's fucking great. Like that is, and not to mention the maid will also give you free time. If you get far enough along the maid's confidant route or whatever, the maid allows you to get more free time during your day, so you can do things like read or craft infiltration tools when you normally wouldn't be able
so
to.
she like gets some of your chores done essentially.
Yep.
Nice.
And also by the end, and this is not sexual, but she'll also massage you after you. I'm sorry.
Cookie and I aren't laughing or even really
it's just
smiling.
me.
It's just Neil.
Just Neil and his massages.
Yeah.
One of the last ranks with
HD
her.
Rumble.
if only it was on Twitch. One of her last rank allows you to basically have free time at night when you otherwise would be too tired. So if you go to Mementos or you do any dungeon crawling, you can hire her for a special massage, and then you're able to do whatever you want at night instead of having to go straight to bed.
I like that.
It's-
That's good to know.
It's fantastic. Because otherwise, like if you go to Mementos, you can't do anything
That
after
stupid
that.
fucking cat. Oh, you're tired.
Let's not do that today.
Go to bed, Cookie.
Skim milk coon to you, motherfucker.
It is important to say though that it does not keep the cat from telling you to go to bed if it's story related, if that makes sense. So if there's a story event, then story happens.
But it's like tough shit in that way anyway.
Yeah, it's like those days you're not going to do anything no matter what.
Exactly. So
But
do you sink money into that? Is it a sunk cost
it's
then?
5,000 yen each time to hire the maid, but I think it's totally worth
I
it.
feel like mugging a monster in a dungeon gets you that money back. So
I mean, even at my point, it usually takes about 2 or 3 battles, and if you're smart about like your resource management going into
That sounds
dungeons, you
worth
can make a
it.
shit ton of money. Yeah. So it's real good, real great. I wish I had worked on that confidence or whatever that relationship much earlier, because after doing it now, I realize like just how much more free time I would have gotten from it.
Good to know. So as soon as I get her, I'll just start working on that.
Yeah, and like don't I
Nope.
don't know.
Everyone else going to the wayside.
Yeah, I guess so. But in general, like I don't feel nearly as pressed. Like the first time I played 3, there were social links I didn't even start. The first time I played 4, I got closer to maxing everyone out without, like there are no guides involved in my first playthroughs. But I got pretty close to getting everybody. In 5, like given the time span I know I might or may not have, I'm pretty hopeful about getting everyone at this point. And like I don't think I've maximized my
you haven't
my free
utilized
time.
your time perfectly. There's
Yeah.
no way to do that on the first playthrough.
And at the same time too, like I'm really close to having max stats, social stats.
That's nice.
And it's just because like the game does a really good job of giving you options that cost money but don't take up time. Like you can go and buy plant fertilizer to take care of your plant.
Kindness.
Yeah, you should once you have access to Shinjuku, you should get the super expensive plant nutrient there.
Good to know.
That gives you 3 points instead of the 2 you would get from the flower shop in the underground shopping mall. So
Question. Without being, it's not a spoiler at all. How'd you do on your first set of exams?
I
Or your
was
first
above
exams?
average on them.
Okay. Did you just go straight off of the knowledge in your dome?
Oh, you mean from the answer standpoint? I still am taking notes on every question I get during the school year. Or the regular classes.
Wait. So you personally, as Neil, are taking notes?
Yes, I have a
Okay.
notepad open on my computer or laptop as I'm playing it, and I'm like, okay, this is what this guy asked, and I just type it I type it close to verbatim, because every question you get in the quizzes is based on those questions.
Yeah.
Or info.
As I found out, because went through my first set of exams, and was like, oh, I'm getting a lot of these wrong now.
Did you end up below the class average, or
I don't know yet.
Oh man. Oh.
We'll find out. Like, it started off real strong. Middle area was like, okay. He's like, stupid cat was like, oh, it doesn't sound right. I'm like, fuck you.
You're a cat. What could you even know about this? This is thermodynamics.
Obviously, you know the answer. Just give it to me, you fucker.
You haven't seen Evangelion before, have you?
I haven't.
God. There's a great
I'm sorry.
No, it's just I remember one of the iconic moments when Shinji is developing interest for Asuka, who's like the red-headed tsundere character.
Asuka.
She talks about thermodynamics in relation to her breasts, and I don't know why it sticks out in my head, but it's a very specific moment that I think
Young Neil was like, she's talking about her boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was probably like 10 at the time of watching that.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe a little older.
Speaking of boobs.
Thermodynamics.
Speaking of boobs, Neil. Speaking of boobs.
Yeah.
Where does this
Yeah.
transition?
Oh, it's going back to your name.
Oh yeah. I love that joke. Like it never got old. Even by the end. Ah.
Then they found a way to like refresh it towards the middle there, where they were just like, for her sake. Anyway,
The last time like she's crying like profusely, and like you see like the snot running down into her mouth, and her eyes are just pouring out. Oh, it's so good. You got to see that movie.
you really got to see that movie.
I
I'll watch
personally don't think you need to necessarily see it in a theater. Like I liked the Alamo Draft House, but it's also like the volume in the theater was excessively loud.
Not for us.
That seems to sometimes happen with anime. For whatever reason, I went and saw Akira for the first time in theaters, and I had a migraine leaving. It was so loud. I was like wincing in pain. It was so loud.
I think there were just like 2 spots in that movie where it seemed like excessively loud, but besides that, the volume that we had it at.
Was it during the music?
No, it was those cuts where it actually had that like gong sound, that triangle, that bing!
Okay, yeah.
Lizzie quite literally went, ah.
Every fucking time that the J-pop band came into play, because it happens like 2 or 3 times through the movie, it was too loud. Like, it was like I can feel my ears kind of wincing naturally from this.
Well, because they didn't need to worry about EQing anything because you're reading everything. So they're just like, fuck it, keep it flat.
Maybe.
I was thinking about that the dub, they might be able to gauge just the voice volume a little bit better.
Yeah.
I could be
And then-
wrong too, but I think there's a different level in sibilance between English and Japanese. And
I could see that.
oh, sorry. Go ahead and say your part first. I cut you off.
No,
but-
finish.
well, because I'm gonna go back into Persona with this quip.
That's
and
fine
end it.
then. Our listeners need to know.
The reason why that comes to mind is because it seems like English is usually way more sibilant, and I imagine they probably take a lot more concern or care into how and like S's are especially annoying to the human ear when they're too loud, right? It's a
Yeah.
lot of like
Totally. It's like when you hear somebody whispering and you're just like, that's way too many fucking S sounds.
yeah. So it's super noticeable because Persona 5, like the one issue I still have with it is that given that we don't necessarily have the same size limits, I'm really conscious of my S's now.
Need some apple juice?
Or
Maybe.
get a lift.
Even though they don't have to deal with like noise, sorry, I'm dyslexic as fuck. File size, because we have fucking huge hard drives and shit, you can still tell that like the audio quality of the dubs is at a low enough compression, or like basically a low enough bit rate that the S's get a little overpronounced at times. And it's not as bad as Persona 3, where Mitsuru especially, like, it's not her voice actress, but just her voice falls victim to it. The S's just start to become very...
I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah,
now that I
Yukari
think
has it
about
kind of bad too, but the women especially have it a little worse than the guys. But Mitsuru, like, it sucked because...
I'm not even sure if I remember it for Mitsuru, because Yukari's the one in the pink, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Yukari's being terrible for whatever reason. I thought there was something wrong with my sound system.
And it's basically because at those lower bit rates, what you're effectively doing is eliminating your available frequency range.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, like a digital artifact that happens as you're doing that, usually, unless you prepare like a set of filters before you do the compression, is that it basically makes whatever is at the limit of your top end becomes more pronounced. And so it hits at a terrible point for like female voice for the most part.
Mhm.
Or in that case it did. It's not as bad, but you can hear the quality change. And I just don't understand why they don't like have a larger, a better like sound quality for it.
So my question to you is then, why are you not just playing this game in Japanese?
You know, it's like it goes to show you just how good the voice acting is. Because I've always thought the Persona voice actors and actresses have been great. And Persona 5 is no exception to that. I'm kind of curious about doing it maybe on my second playthrough. But have you noticed any familiar voice? Oh, I guess you didn't play Persona 3.
Nope.
But the homeroom teacher is totally Yukari's voice actress. And I think she fits that role much better than she did Yukari. But Yukari's voice actress was already good to begin with. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just saying it fitted fine.
You mean the teacher's voice actress?
Yeah, well, yeah. But like as the teacher now, I think it's like it is very, very suitable. Very good.
Yeah, I don't think I had a complaint for the voice actress as Yukari either. Like all the voice actors through Persona 3 and 4, as I've experienced it, have been fine and great. Like no complaints. They're diverse as well, which is really nice.
Yeah. like there are a few fantastic standouts in 4. Like I loved Kanji's voice actor.
Mhm.
You just gotta
Yeah.
keep on keeping on,
I mean,
senpai.
Junpei had great voice acting too.
You just wanted to hate his voice, and his character just made me hate him more and more and more. But I think it was a good thing, right? I mean, like that might be intended. Like by the end, you have enough sympathy for Junpei that like he justifies himself, but he's still just such a fucking dick. Man, I hate Junpei. Maybe not that excessively, but
Yeah.
My seatbelt.
you okay, Chris?
Oh, we just
Yeah.
thought you got shorter.